Izzy, you came from Jacksonville.
Yes.
How was your drive?
It was good.
You get caught in the rain?
No, just the end. It was fine. I took my mom's minivan.
Nice.
It was fun.
Just cruise. You listen to music or podcasts?
Truthfully, I didn't most of the time.
You drove in silence?
Oh, most of the time.
You drove most of 5 hours in silence?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was doing a lot of reflecting. I don't know. I have an old car at home that I love. Like sometimes I turn the radio on and sometimes I just like roll the windows down and I actually do feel like this kind of ties into it. I think that I enjoy just existing sometimes.
Are you a big meditator?
Yes.
Well, there you go.
I love it. I love it. It's like life-changing.
You are a professional at silencing your brain.
Yeah.
How long have you been meditating for?
Since I got off of Adderall. So 2.5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've quieted the chaos in your head.
I've gotten to the point where like I feel like I'm floating when I meditate. And I come back and I'm like, that's so Raven.
Is it okay to drive like that when you're
I wasn't
drifting
doing
away?
all of that today. It was more of a reflection than a meditation. But I guess it's a version of it, like where you kind of just let yourself like exist and breathe.
What is like your go-to meditation practice? And I'll give you an example. So mine, I do like very basic and I pretty much stick to basic. In the morning, I meditate every morning. I pray, I meditate, and then I journal. When I meditate, I breathe in, breathe out, and then I like focus on one body part and I do my entire body. And then by the time I'm done with my entire body, I have forgotten all the bullshit that was going on in my head, the checklist. I got to do this, got to attend to that.
Yeah.
And then I'm back at like homeostasis, like ground level.
Reset, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is so interesting. I just focus on like my breathing. I focus on like relaxing every part of my body, but I really like give myself a minute to like block everything out. Obviously, like, you know, thoughts come in, you acknowledge them, release them. But it's really like the breathing thing for me where like, I think with ADD unmedicated, it gives me a moment. I'm not hyperactive. I'm really just ADD, but it gives me like a little bit of power because I'm like, I can control some of this, right? But it just gives me a break to just float and not have to, nobody needs me. I don't need anybody in this very moment. I don't need to be doing anything. I don't need to be thinking about anything. Like I'm just here right now and I'm allowed to just like exist. And that's my thought process every time.
It helps a lot with anxiety.
Yeah.
Anxiety, I'm like, I got to do this. Oh my God, if I don't do this, if I don't get started on this project, I don't know if it'll get done. And so knowing that you're present in the moment and not worried about those things, I mean, that is what anxiety is.
Yeah.
In the last 2.5, and congratulations on 2.5 years.
Thank you.
So amazing.
It's crazy.
Adderall, Vyvanse, all the other controlled substances is a huge problem, especially I would say mainly in the US.
Yeah.
And I've had my experience with it.
Yeah.
I have gotten off it, which is absolutely amazing. Saying that because I know how hard it is.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
That's quite an accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of people have just accepted the fact that they are going to be on that medication for the rest of their lives. And that's against their own will because they probably know deep down they shouldn't be on it every day.
Yeah.
So I also appreciate you coming on here and sharing your story, getting vulnerable with us to show people who are listening, who are struggling with it, that there is hope.
Yeah. I felt that way for a long time. I was like, there's a 0% chance unless I am pregnant one day that I will get off of it because I can't, right? Like I would lose everything. That's how I felt. And I also 100% of me wanted to get off of it. And like somehow 100% of me didn't. And like, because I had buried that part of me that knew that like I was doing all these things just because of the Adderall. I had like buried that so that I could embrace Adderall me, you know?
Yeah. But you were also probably operating at a very high level on Adderall. So you cut hair?
Yeah.
You were probably getting a lot done.
Yeah. So that's an interesting shift. There are different ways to structure your hairstyling career. When I was still on it, I was like working at a hustle bustle salon, commission salon. Like you have 45 minutes to do each section of hair. At one point, I had an assistant and I was taking like 9 clients a day, making like good money, but in retrospect, like not good enough, because I would go home, like I couldn't talk for the rest of the day. The come down, I would just like drink wine and go to bed. Like it was feeding into this like robotic state of mind that Adderall already had me in, but I was productive. So and from the outside, I was a successful stylist, and other stylists like looked up to me, and my assistants were like, wow, how do you do this? And that felt good for a long time. But now I take like 2 or 3 clients a day and truthfully make more than I did then, because of skill set, experience for sure, but also just like I do better hair. I have better connections. I got like smarter and more creative. And like, I think more capable. I realized I was capable of living a slower life and still being successful. Whereas before, it had to be that way. Hustle bustle for me to be successful. It's not sustainable.
Hey guys, quick update. Every Monday night, I host the Rise Above Recovery meeting. It's an open meeting for any addiction, alcohol, drugs, gambling, food, whatever you're struggling with, you're welcome here. To get the meeting link and weekly updates, just email me at kevin@riseabovepod.com and I'll add you to the list. Also, if this podcast has helped you, please like, subscribe, or leave a rating. It helps us continue to spread the message of hope. Lastly, if you'd like to go even deeper with Rise Above, check out our Patreon. Supporters get access to live interviews and can chat with guests after the interview. Thank you. I think one of the most important things that you said is you're capable.
Yeah.
Because when I was on it, I relied on it so much as a crutch that I forgot. We were talking just earlier about forgetting and like our personality, our social skills. You lose that once you start, any kind of substance. I mean, whether it's drugs, alcohol, I mean, Adderall is a drug, but like any other drug. And for me, I lost that belief in self. Yeah. And I was like, well, I'll just take Adderall and work, and my working hours are the 4 hours that in the morning when I can do it. And then later on, who gives a shit? I'm just going to crash anyways.
Yeah.
So the fact that you are here sharing that you were capable and you were able to build your brand, you're working at a salon, but it's your business. Like your brand is your business.
Yeah, I'm an independent. Yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that you were able to scale that, make more money, take 66% less a day in clients and really expand. That's really awesome. Let's take a step back. Tell us just a little bit about where you're from and what early childhood was like.
I am originally from Nashville. I grew up in like a super vanilla, like Catholic environment. Good family, sports, friends. Like I went to a school that was run by Dominican sisters.
Nice.
So super vanilla, right? Pretty strict. Nothing was outside of the box. Like if you stand out a lot. Everybody around me was like fairly successful. Like I grew up in a nice neighborhood. Everyone was kind of doing the same stuff. And I was always that kid that was like somehow different, whether that's behind in school or like maybe more creative or thinking outside the box or whatever. I was never like hyperactive, but I was like not doing things the same way that everybody else was pretty clearly. Yeah.
And you had 2 siblings.
Yeah, 2 siblings.
Are they both older?
Yeah.
You're the youngest.
Yeah.
I'm the youngest of 3.
Are you?
Yeah.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have 2 older brothers.
Okay. Boys.
Yeah, we were wild.
We were girls.
Yeah. Oh, you all girls?
All girls.
Okay. And what was it like being the youngest? Were you getting into trouble at all as a child? Or like, you perfected sneaking out because your older sibling had gotten caught. You knew what to do?
No. I was the first to break any rule.
Oh, they're good. They're good kids.
Yeah, really good.
I should have known the tattoos.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
If you saw my sister, you'd be like, yep,
Makes sense.
There's the third one. Because, I'm 5 years younger than my middle sister, 8 years younger than my oldest. So it was just like more lenient when I came around,
Yeah.
But I do feel like I was always trying to prove myself. I always felt small. Like, even as an adult, like if I say something, it's not always taken very seriously because I'm always going to be the baby,
Yeah.
But my sister, she's like the opposite side of the brain as me. She's like into math, very like
logistics.
Yeah. And we get along really well, even though we're different. But like she was always really successful, really like by the books, perfectionist.
What does she do now?
She works for like corporate B of A, like higher up.
Fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very different career paths for sure.
Yeah.
So that definitely fed into like feeling less than before Adderall. And then you would think Adderall would fix that, but it really just proves it tells you as a kid that you need that to be normal. Whatever that means, right?
Yeah, of course.
My sisters were never on that stuff, but I would think I was in the 7th grade when I went on it.
7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
How old is someone in 7th grade?
I don't even know.
Like 13? Yeah, probably maybe. Maybe 12.
Maybe.
All right. So let's call it 11, 12. You were put on Adderall. How did that come about?
There was like a journey through all of middle school where like my teachers were trying to figure out what was going on. Like they're like, dyslexia, let's try testing her for the 3rd time because something's happening here and we don't know what it is. And I just was like, I think just behind. And like now when I look back, the issue was like how I was being taught. It just like didn't work for me. But it just came off like I had some sort of learning disability or I don't know, something, right? So they were searching for it. And then Vyvanse came out and my doctor I was on like Ritalin and stuff before it didn't work. I tried all of the like smaller name brand, whatever that everybody does, right? Before they go on Adderall or Vyvanse. And he was like, I remember being in the doctor's office and him explaining to us this like new drug, Vyvanse. Like it's not as addictive.
Yeah.
It's not like as easily abused, I guess. And it was supposed to be this like new innovative thing. That's what I was on most of the time. Most of my.
It's time released. It's not as, it doesn't hit you hard like Adderall or whatever other drug there is out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we started at bottom minimum dosage, obviously. And then quickly it was like, oh, I don't feel like it's working as much. But really it was like.
Tolerance.
It's partially tolerance. I also think like, especially as somebody with ADD, like I liked that high. So once I didn't feel that high, which you really get at the beginning, I felt like I wanted that again. And like that excitement that it gave me, it's just like, it's a cheap dopamine hit. And like, so you go to your doctor and you're like, oh, it's not working. And they're like, more. And then you max out.
Yeah. So were you playing sports at all? And what was your social life like through middle school and high school?
I was social. I always played sports. I swam my whole life, swimming in the morning after school. I ran track, played volleyball, like lived for hanging out with my friends. Didn't care about anything other than that really. But I was doing a lot of stuff.
So you had a big social circle. Were your grades slipping?
Yeah. Like what grades?
Like your grades that like
I mean, I didn't have them. Like, I mean, like what grades? Because I had like F's and D's and
but that's
it.
It's crazy because like, okay, we need to find something that works for Izzy, right? And we're going to put her on Vyvanse and then your grades don't improve. Why would they continue to keep you on that at such a young age?
It got me to pass. It kept me out of summer school. The interesting part is that like, I feel like when you're on medication like that, it helps you focus more, but you're like, my ADD tendencies were still there, right? Like I was still like a certain level of like impulsive and like I only cared to excel in things that I liked or that I cared about. And that's a big thing. Like if the reward is high enough or the consequence is bad enough, I'm there. I'm doing it and I'm going to do it well. The rest of it, it's like, I didn't care about it. So I was like, I'm going to do bare minimum. I'll pass. And it helped me like sit down and do stuff that I hated. But I still didn't have, it's not real motivation. It's just like, yeah, you can focus to sit down and do this. I'm not going to do it to the point of an A because why? I'm not going to become a scientist.
So you just wanted to pass?
Yeah.
And did you always have a vision of getting into hair or?
Yeah.
Well, all right. So you're approaching graduation in high school. What is the next move and kind of where were you anticipating your career going?
Stuff started getting like pretty wild at that time of my life. I was going to private school and then my junior year I went to public. And then for my senior, they wanted me to take all these extra classes. And I was like, no, I'm going to go do like these 4 credits that I need at this like alt school. So it's like, you can do like homework and quizzes at home, or you can go into the classroom if that's better for you. And then you have to go in for exams, turn your phone in. That's legit. And I did so well at that, which was really eye-opening for me. Like that was the first time I ever felt smart. I was teaching myself math and doing really well. And then I got mixed in with a boyfriend and moved in with him when I was 18.
Okay.
And he like was the protector provider like at 18. That was appealing. And he brought a lot of Adderall around also. So that's when I first started abusing it. And I mean, I like wasn't sleeping. At one point, painkillers were introduced. And it was just this like, it felt okay because he was like taking care of me, right? Like it was an immature state of mind where like he's going to take care of it. So it's fine. Like he goes to work and I just like existed as like a shell, right? Soulless, just getting through like the days. And then.
Was he older than you?
Yeah. Not like a crazy amount, probably 5 years older. But after living with him for about a year, he turned out to be a very different person and it turned into an abusive relationship. And that was hard to get out of because I had like kind of blown my whole life up with him. I got out of it and went back to school and then got like addied out. I was like, I'm going to finish my last 6 months of school in like 6 days. And I did. Like, I just didn't sleep, took Adderall all day, every day, went in for my exams, got it done.
Really quick. So I understand logistically like what you're saying. You were with that guy from 18 to 19 for a year.
Yeah.
And you were dependent on him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy to think that at 19, people are just starting their lives. And like one would think at 19, I mean, I've been with him for a year, but like I kind of have set my life up here. And people get stuck in abusive relationships. And I'm saying this for the listener who is in that situation currently and thinking that their whole world could come crashing down if they were to leave that abuser or that situation, when in fact that is not the case.
Yeah.
And even restarting your life at 30, 35, 40, like it's, it's doable.
Yeah. I mean, I learned so much. I grew up really quickly with that. And it came with a lot of shame. But like, I look back and I tend to not regret much because, although it didn't propel me straight into success, like at a certain point, because I learned those lessons, I got there, and you can get everything back. Like you can rebuild no matter what. Like, and I truly believe that. And it's hard, but like, even though you feel stuck, like I always tell myself, like every emotion is always temporary. So although like, yeah, sometimes your happiness high is going to come down, like when you're struggling, like it will go away. Like no matter what, like that is going to go away. Mm-hmm. And I just, kept on with that. And I don't know, somehow.
Sounds like it motivated you and pushed you because the pain was great enough and it motivated you. And that's part of your story. Hence why you just said you would take it back. It's what propelled you into your career. So, okay. So you take those tests, you pass them. Let's say you're probably 19 or 20 years old at this point. What do you do next?
Straight to hair school.
Okay.
Yeah. My stepdad paid for me to go.
It's amazing.
An angel.
Yeah.
Like an absolute angel.
Is your mom still with him now?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's a big part of your life?
Yeah, now.
That's amazing.
It took a little while for sure. I've said many apologies since that point in my life.
Yeah.
I was like a brat. But straight into hair school, a lot of Adderall still. Mm-hmm. Honestly, a lot of Adderall through hair school. And then my first commission salon, that's how I got through all of it. And that's how I excelled. Now I excel because like I'm good at it and I'm creative. But at the time it was just like, let's go.
High volume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot more like quantity than quality when you're on Adderall in general. Mm-hmm.
That just sounds like a stressful way to live. Just madness.
I didn't know any other way. Now I know because I feel like an overwhelming sense of peace like all the time. Now I didn't know it existed. It felt like slow and weird at first. But I think when you're on Adderall, you're like in a constant state of fight or flight. Like your nervous system is like just chaos, whether you know it or not. You're never like actually relaxed or chill or whatever.
Were you drinking like out of control at this point as well? And you had mentioned painkillers before. Were you kind of continuing with that, or was that just when you were with that guy?
Yeah, no, I got rid of that. Stopped that when I left. Drinking a lot, to be fair. Not eating a lot, drinking a lot, but I could like handle my liquor. Like I wasn't like, it was functioning, And I was like at the age where it was like so normalized to go crazy and have fun and party. So I just like kind of laughed it off, but it did become a habit with Adderall. Like I won't even eat dinner. I'll just drink 3 White Claws,
Go about my night.
And it's a bad combo.
Yeah.
It's a bad combo.
Yeah. Well, are you at this point also going outside of your prescription? So you have your prescription. Are you also getting some from the black market from other people?
I went in and out of that. I was definitely at this point still like I was taking mine and then taking more and then buying it from whoever else had a script. And we'd like trade sometimes. Like I'll give you 10 when I get my next script. You give me 10 now. Like whoever had it.
Yeah. So, okay, you're now just continuing this through your 20s and walk us through up to the breaking point. What are you, like 24, 22? So you probably only, no, I'm kidding. No, but walk us up to the point where you start to realize that it really is a problem. Or are you thinking it's a problem, but you're just kind of dismissing it?
Oh, I knew. Yeah, I knew.
Okay.
Because the number one thing that was always screaming at me was like my relationships, friendships, family, the people around me, I was like so reactive that I was literally like just burning bridges, including my family. And like my mom always said, like, I think it's the Adderall, I think it's the Vyvanse. And she was always right. She typically is. But I always knew it was a problem. I just didn't want to admit that it was the Adderall because I didn't want to go off of it. So it was like deep down there. But I got engaged. I got married. I got divorced on Adderall that whole time. And before that, I had a lot of freakouts and meltdowns and explosions. I like punched a hole in my mom's wall one time, like explosions. And I kept it cool in my relationship for a while. And going through the divorce, like I didn't have coping skills. We didn't get divorced or married because I was on Adderall. It's just that I struggled so much to cope with it. And I think when I was on Adderall, I just was crossing things off the list. I wasn't doing anything with like emotion or intention. So it was the wrong decision. I don't think I've been asked, like, would you have gotten divorced if you were not on Adderall? And to me, that's like not the question. Like, I don't think I would have gotten married if I was off of Adderall, because I think I would have been tuned in and more aware and more intentional. And my feelings would have told me no, which I have now, like intuition and like time to reflect. But at the time it was like, yeah, like a successful, hot man.
Was it impulsive behaviors that you were taking part of and with no emotion behind it? Again, like you said, you're crossing it like, okay, I'm supposed to get married. I'm supposed to have kids. I'm supposed to not get a divorce. But it's on the list. Yeah, check it off. Well, nowadays everyone's doing it. So, was it more impulsive decision making? Like, how long did you guys know one another until
4 years?
Okay, so you were together for 4 years.
Yes, and we lived together for 3 of those years. We were engaged for 2. Like,
oh, that's healthy.
Yeah, it was not an unhealthy situation. It got to the point where it was very wrong. Stuff came out after we got married that was the real issue. But before that, it was like, it wasn't very impulsive. It felt like the right speed. But I just think along the way, I didn't have like that voice inside of my head. It was just sort of like, okay, like, when are we going to say I love you? And then that happened. And then it was like, oh my God, look at the ring he got me. And like, I think I got a lot of outside validation. And that drove a lot of my life because I don't think I had the deep, I always had the depth, but it was like just so buried. Like, I always felt like it was wrong. Like, it's almost like an identity crisis. I'm like, I always felt wrong, like not myself, but I just kept going. Like, on to the next thing. Let's do something else. Let's do more things. And as long as you keep getting stuff done, you feel productive.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I was like so disconnected from myself.
Yeah, you were going through the motions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you, being 2.5 years off of Adderall and stimulants, have you identified kind of maybe what that validation part of your life was stemming from? Were there insecurities? Were there, all right, so I'll throw this out there. I'm the youngest of 3. I felt like I always had to prove myself. You know, you talked about like you were the last one. So in terms of your voice, it wasn't as loud as your older sister. So I had a very similar upbringing. And I always felt like I had to prove myself. I had to be better than my brothers.
Yeah.
My oldest brother never made, fuck, he'll kill me if I say, like, just made the team. My middle brother got a starting position. Yeah. I got a Division I football scholarship. Like, I had to prove myself and do better. And there was so much pressure
Yeah.
And I mean, it's insecurity. Like I didn't feel good about, like I could have been comfortable with who I was and being, you know, the last one, or had adult conversations with my parents when I was a teenager. I was fully capable of doing that. I just never did. And there were some deep rooted insecurities and fears that came from that.
Yeah.
And then it was just numbing it. And it was in my household. I'm going to go to the feelings part too, that you talked about. I didn't know how to deal with big feelings.
Yeah.
I can deal with some bullshit feelings. Couldn't deal with big feelings.
Yeah.
In my household, my mom was like emotional. She's just like emotionally, she's up and down. And if it's really up and there's like some shit going on in the house, she wants to air it out ASAP, get it done with, and it stays in the house. And then my dad was just like, why don't you just fucking get sober?
Yeah.
Stop the bullshit. Yeah. No emotion.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how to deal with big emotions. So when shit started happening in my life, my coping mechanism was Oxycontin. So I guess for us, just elaborate, have you identified where the, you know, validation came from and why you needed that?
Yeah, I think you're right. And the insecurity thing, I think really like I don't think I trusted myself much. And I do think that comes from living day to day, relying on a pill to be your personality. I don't think that's it, but I do feel like there's a correlation there where, you know, you clean your house when you're on Adderall and you're like, cool, got that done, moving on. I clean my whole house now and I'm like, you did that. You know, and that's like real motivation and happiness and being proud of yourself. I didn't have like much of that before.
So I used to cheat on everything, all of my tests in college. And I got like B's and A's, but it wasn't mine.
Yeah.
I felt like a fraud for a very long time and I didn't have that belief in myself. But it was weird because I'm like, I know I can do it.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not going to. I'm just going to cheat. So my identity got all fucked up, especially in college. And I was just all over the place. I didn't know who I was. And then the confidence I lacked severely, imposter syndrome. I would get these jobs and I'm like, I am not, just a matter of time until they find out that I'm a complete degenerate and then they fire me.
Yeah.
So.
No, I relate to that for sure.
Yeah. So take us through the day you decide or I don't know the story. So maybe you're interventioned, held down, tied down to not ever do Adderall again. How does that come about? And this was 2.5 years ago. Yeah.
So I had been dating somebody that was also very sweet. And there were like a few times where I like, typically it was when I would get drunk because I'd be like, you just like drink and you're sober for so long until you crack because you're like, my tolerance is like never ending. And then there hits a point where it's like the combination is really dirty. And I acted out a lot with him and I was so ashamed and I felt so bad because I'm like, he doesn't deserve this. He's a good person. But then there was a shortage of Adderall.
I remember that. Yep.
I mean, I've like never felt like such a drug addict in my life. I'm like calling pharmacies. They're answering the phone going, we don't have Adderall. I was like, oh my God, okay. It's not what I was going to ask. It was bad.
Just kidding.
People were freaking out. And that was like, and I was scrolling TikTok and I'm seeing everyone freak out. I'm like on the Adderall freak out side of TikTok and I'm like, we're not okay. As a whole, we're collapsing. Okay. And then I started reflecting on that and I'm like, I'm so terrified of going off of it that I have to do it. You know? And I also, at a certain point, I was like, I kind of have no choice, right? I didn't have it. So.
Are you living in Nashville at this point?
No.
You ended up moving to Florida at this point?
Yes.
Okay. How long ago did you move to Florida?
2016.
Okay. So you've been here for a while.
Yes.
Did you get married here?
Yeah. So moved here, met the guy, Got married.
Got married. Okay, so you're what now? A couple of years. Wait, so was this your first boyfriend that you were with when you were coming off of Adderall after the divorce?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Timeline correct.
Okay.
No longer with him.
Okay.
No drama. But what I don't remember.
Shortage everywhere.
Shortage, yeah.
Yep.
So shortage was motivating. It started coming back and I had the option to go get it. And I was like, well, I've gone 4 days and now it's like time. I had burned so many bridges. I was so ashamed all the time. I was just like, and I grew so much after my divorce and I learned so much and I felt so good about myself afterwards. And I had all this it was a high of self-growth. And I was so proud of myself for doing those things, even though getting married and divorced at that age is embarrassing. I was proud, but there was still something missing. And I was like, the Adderall. Okay, got to go. I'm going to ruin everything. So I decided to silently, I didn't tell anyone that I was doing this. I went cold turkey, decided I'm never going to pick up another script again, quit. I decided for the first 6 weeks, I would not drink. I smoked cigarettes at the time a lot. Quit that. Still don't smoke. Drink occasionally now, but I even got rid of my TV. No caffeine. It sounds crazy, but just knowing my personality, I was I'm just going to dive headfirst into these other vices, or I know I'm going to be so depressed that I'm going to end up sitting on my couch and watching TV all day. I lived by the beach. I was I need to not have those things to turn to. So I force myself outside, or I walk my dogs, or I go sit on the beach and just exist in the pain, I don't know that the doctor would recommend any of that, but it worked for me.
Well, yeah. Well, it's sad that in America, a doctor wouldn't suggest you do that.
Yeah.
But I have gone through some shit, and I actually think you handled that in a healthy manner. You sat with those feelings. It was for the first time there were no mood or mind altering substances that were going into your body, no TV. Cause look, TV could be a drug as well.
Yeah.
All of these other things could be a drug, and you sat with your feelings. And it sounds like you started to do that. You were introduced to that after your divorce. Yeah, you were still taking the Adderall, but whatever. That's a huge feeling. The divorce is one of the most painful things that you can go through.
Yeah. Just
realigning your life, breaking away from that person, separating your lives. It's tough.
You're forced to be uncomfortable. And it's going to end, but you do have to sit in that.
Yep.
And it was literally the worst thing I've ever had to do in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. Every morning I was I actually can't get out of bed. And I would have this talk with myself that was I get the soft parenting thing, but sometimes for me, I'm you need to just shut the fuck up and get up. Some people are paralyzed.
Mm-hmm.
Go take a shower. And then I would pat myself on the back when I got out of the shower. And it's that was an accomplishment.
Small accomplishments.
Yes.
Leads to bigger accomplishments.
And I just felt more and more proud of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the end of every day, I was okay, another one.
I can do this.
Yeah. And it was awful being a hairstylist because talking, listening, foiling, texting clients and posting on social media and going through kind of this silent battle, I lost so much clientele. I went into debt. I at one point was scared I couldn't pay my rent.
This was when you came off of the Adderall after the divorce.
Adderall.
Okay. So you went into debt.
This is my first place by myself after the divorce.
Yep.
And I was doing really well before.
Okay.
But I let myself do it. And I was I've built a career before. And I do have a career where I can build again. It's just going to be so bad and what's scary is you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel because when is that happening? I don't know. Like Google doesn't tell you. ChatGPT is not going to tell you how many weeks it's going to take to feel like a human. I know how long it's going to take for the medication to be out of my system. But I don't know what normal is for me. So when do I know that I'm good? I have no idea what I'm looking for. I don't know, like, if I'm going to be able to ever be not depressed. Like, I don't know. And at that time of my life, I think because I went through certain things in my life, I felt like I could do it. I felt strong. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I want this bad enough that I'm going to do it. And like, figure out the rest down the road. But it was like the craziest. I mean, migraines, the dreams I had were so realistic that every morning I felt like I had lost my mind. Like at one point I thought I was at the bar down the street the night before and I made up with my ex-husband. And the next morning I, for a moment, thought we were good. Okay. And then I was like,
hey babe.
Oh my God. No. It was like, honestly, I don't know what was going on up here, but it was scrambled, right? Like I was stuttering a lot. I was like, I felt like everything was in slow motion. And it wasn't. It wasn't. I was like just normal pace. Like I was moving like a normal human being, but it felt like I felt like an idiot.
Yeah. All
the time, like walking point A to point B. I was like, why am I walking like this?
Yeah.
But it's like, I wasn't running.
Right. How much were you taking per day, roughly? Like an average milligram wise of Adderall?
230s.
Okay. So you were taking one in the morning, one in like late afternoon or something?
Yeah.
Lunchtime?
Yeah.
What was was there a detox that you went through immediately? Like the first week that you weren't on it? Did you feel a detox?
I mean, yeah, I think there were kind of phases of this where it was like, I'm not really sure the difference between the mental and physical detox. I did get really bad migraines, night sweats. I was really hungry all the time, really tired, like I could sleep all day. And those were the things that stopped. I did have migraines for a long time, but the physical, I feel like wasn't that long.
Yeah.
But it was like, I mean, I almost don't even remember that time because I was just like, what am I even doing?
It was a fog.
I didn't know who I was.
Yeah. Now, mentally.
Yeah.
You talked about, you were cloudy, stuttering, all that stuff. How long did it take for you to go back to normal, essentially, and start feeling capable?
That's so crazy, actually, because for the first month, I was like, this is me. I'm never going to be able to feel good again. This is like, because I felt that I had gotten better over a month. Better, right? More stable. But I still felt like slow, depressed, whatever. But then like the next month would roll around and I'd be like, I think that was a little better. And then like 2 months would go by and I'd be like, wait a minute.
I'm really doing well.
And I think, it didn't feel that way through the month, right? Like I went through probably 8 months of like the worst time of my entire life because
that's what you go through when you're coming off of it.
Yeah. Like it was just like, I didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
And nobody knew that I was going through that. And you just have to act normal. But I would say probably like 8 months. But even when I think about it now, I feel like right now versus this time last year.
So a year and a half out versus 2.5 years out?
I mean, maybe it's in my head, but like I still feel like I'm just getting better and better. But part of that is that I really actively taught myself about ADD, got really self-aware of what my strengths and weaknesses were as I was getting out of it. And then I had to be really strict with like routines. I mean, like my house was a wreck, right? Like certain things is like, it was an absolute disaster. Now I like love cleaning my house. I just have to do it every day, just a little bit, So part of that is like maybe my body is just becoming more capable of producing certain chemicals on its own, but also just like the learning continues. I think sometimes subconsciously even where like I can keep looking back and I see the growth and it's super motivating. I'm like, that keeps me. This is a side note. My doctor tried to put me on Adderall again 2 weeks ago.
Okay. After he knows everything that's going on. Okay.
So those things, when I think back on the journey, keep me motivated.
It's absurd.
And I want to say, yeah, right, like for a minute, but I don't even almost want to go back to that life.
Well, I'm going to argue something. So you said a year ago, which would have been a year and a half off of Adderall.
Yeah.
You said you feel exponentially better than you did last year at this time. Now, yeah, we could say you have been even getting better and better from your last usage of Adderall. But I'm going to challenge you and throw out there, well, maybe you growing as a person, just in general, is happening a lot faster because you're not on Adderall anymore. So maybe you've just had a lot of self-growth and it's not like clearing up the cobwebs from Adderall. Yeah. Maybe that already happened the first year, but like your growth from year 1 to 2.5 years has, sped up exponentially.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. And it was what I'm experiencing now, I wouldn't have experienced on Adderall. I wouldn't have. It's like I literally woke up like to experiencing life and that doesn't go away. Like I will continue to enjoy and experience life as long as I'm not on Adderall. It's not like a high that you're on for, the first however long after you're off of it. I'm like, as long as you stay grateful and aware each step of the way, which I can do now, like I'm going to continue to grow and experience life, in a more intentional way.
What has it done for patience with you?
Wonders. Like, that's the thing with my mom. Mothers push buttons, right? Okay. They love to, and we all know it. Before, when I was on Adderall, she would push my buttons and I would be like, let's do this. Like, let's go. Okay, immediately. And I would be like, you're going to see how I'm seeing this. And that hurt me. So I'm going to make you feel hurt too. And like, it was so reactive. Like, why? And I disliked her for that. It was really me disliking myself. But now, like, for instance, my mom can push my buttons and I'm like, Mom.
Or I'll get back to that later.
Yeah, I'm like, girl, please. Moving on. And she's like, what? And it's made our relationship so much better. She's my rock. Like, and I never would have had that before. But patience is like, I can stop and I can hear what other people are saying without needing to say my piece immediately or interrupting. I'm obviously still ADD, so some of that I have to try to control, but I didn't have patience before at all. And now that's part of where my peace comes from, is being able to just like sit back, have grace, have understanding and perspective. I have time for that now.
It's interesting, the relationship and the dynamic between you and your mom, because I feel like while you were on Adderall, it's like two variables going at it and just creating pure chaos. And like now you're a constant, right?
Yeah.
And mom, if you're listening to this, you have a variable and one constant and you just whatever. And then this will adapt to it eventually. And then that has strengthened your relationship. Because you can't change other people.
But she has changed because I was setting her off at the same time. We were setting each other off. I was the one that would pop off first. So I took it to the next level every time. And she'd match me for sure. And it would blow up. And at the time, I blamed her for it because I'm like, you said that one thing. But she's like, that was you because you're the one that freaked out. I'm like, whatever, I freaked out because you said this. And now we have the space to like just enjoy each other now, and like we can move past things, and we have time and space for like a real relationship. Like, because I'm not popping off, I'm not setting her off and not triggering her. And I also think that she gained a certain level of respect for me after all this. I didn't tell her that I did this until after. And then she was like, what? Like, you should have come to me. I was like, I intentionally didn't want to have like anyone to call and vent to.
Yeah, of course.
Because I would have just like gone off the rails, and like that gives it so much space. Sometimes I think like venting's good. I think sometimes venting is bad, where it's like you're giving it a lot more energy than it needs. And she respected that. So we've gotten better for sure.
What has it done for you from an accountability standpoint? Because you were just talking about when you would pop off first and then say, well, it's your fault, Mom. That sounds like zero accountability. No offense.
No, zero.
But are you able to take accountability a lot easier now?
Way easier.
Yeah.
And it's not hard for me to do because I appreciate feelings now. I cry so much now, like, like a commercial, like, and I'm not like, oh my God, sorry. I'm just like, oh my God, that was so sad, you know, like, and I'm like I was like so cold and hard before. I wouldn't even cry at anything. Like I was very masculine, right?
Yeah.
And now like, yeah, accountability like is sometimes hard, but I can appreciate the difficulty of a feeling like that because I appreciate that it exists in my life now. You know, it sounds like corny, but I want to do better. I wish that I could go back and have certain relationships and experience things that I experienced then off of Adderall. And I wish I could have been a better friend and taken more accountability and done all these things, but I can't change that. Yeah. So now I'm like, I'm happy to do it now.
I got off Lexapro probably 6 months ago.
Oh, how was that?
So if you watch those interviews, everyone's going to go back and watch them. I cried on air like 4 times.
Did you?
For like a month, I could not control. I was just like,
really?
Yeah, I kept crying. Like it like opened up, but then it like stabilized.
We're like releasing.
Yeah, it was years of just not crying or feeling like anything, like sad emotions, because it won't allow you to feel those sad emotions. And it was all stored down. This one guy, I know him from recovery, and like we all die laughing. And he shared a story about like his sister who's sober now. And like, it was a touching story. It really was. It was a heartfelt story, but like I could not stop crying. And like, we're like, all right, we got to pause for 1 second, get the tissues. But anyway, so have your interests changed significantly in the last 2.5 years?
Yeah. I'm like truthfully a different person.
Really?
I'm a totally different person. And I go back to saying masculine because, or whatever you want to call it, like masculine, feminine energy, whatever. I was so intense all the time and doing and like needing to do all the time that like that felt wrong for me. It might feel right for some women. It felt very wrong for me. And now like I feel like so like lighthearted and like I cry laughing sometimes and I'm giddy and I'm like, my whole personality is different and I enjoy like very different things. I like reading. It feels productive to sit down and read. Then it was like, why am I doing this? Like anything of real quality.
What are you reading now?
I'm reading a book about Stevie Nicks' life.
Okay.
Yes.
How far are you into it?
Not far, but I love it. It just like tells her story.
What's your favorite book?
I don't know what my favorite book is. I read like really random things across the board. I don't know that I have one, to be honest with you.
Do you ever read the book Awareness by Anthony DeMello?
No.
So I noticed like in active addiction, and even when I was taking Adderall, I was a huge people pleaser. And like I would do things like give compliments when I wasn't even feeling a certain way, just so that you would like me or the people around. It was all deep-rooted insecurity.
Yeah.
And then I started to realize in this book, it talks about how like it's okay to be selfish sometimes. Like it's okay to be good to yourself and selfish and have that awareness. And I also would get resentment towards people if people were doing selfish things in front of me or like to me, or like I would take it very personal. And in this book, it kind of relieved me of that resentment towards people who were being selfish, because selfishness it's a human instinct.
Yeah.
Like you got to provide for yourself first, and then you can provide for everyone else. I mean, I would argue that, but that's human instinct.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting mad at people who are doing something that is expected of them. Not that I expect everyone to be selfish, but to an extent.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a line, obviously. I think there's a line, but like it's so important to do things for yourself.
I would do things to the point where it was detrimental to my well-being or my mental well-being. And
like what?
I just like people pleasing.
Yeah.
Like it would create chaos in my head. Or
were you about it saying no?
Always saying yes to something, or saying yes, but then I'm eventually going to cancel. So then even canceling's hard. And it's like, just when I'm in your presence, I said, yes, I made you happy. So now like we're good. And then later, I mean, just stupid shit like that. So, Awareness by Anthony DeMello.
Okay.
I'll send it to you if you want.
Okay.
So you talked a little bit about where you're at today. I'm getting like hippie vibes now. So
are you? Why?
Yeah, just no, like aura hippie vibe, not the way you dress. Just like you, like very. I mean, you didn't listen to the radio or any music for 4 out of 5 hours. Like you got rid of your TV, you got rid of the radio in your car.
Let's
you got
be clear. I have a TV again.
All right, good.
One. And I can get sucked back into that quick. I'm not going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be very like routine about that. But what are you asking? What's your question?
We're getting there.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
No, you're good. So I'm getting like more hippie-ish vibes.
Okay.
But from an aura standpoint, the meditation.
Yeah.
Do you pray? Are you Catholic still?
I'm not a practicing Catholic.
Yeah.
As of late, I've been doing a little bit more praying. Praying for me growing up was the Our Father, the Hail Mary, which sometimes in my head, like if like an ambulance goes by, I'll say something like that in my head because that's what my mom would do. And that still makes me feel good. It doesn't quite have the same amount of power as it did growing up for me. But I do want to have a sense of like faith in my life. The Catholic religion is tricky for me. But I have, as of late, been doing a little bit more praying when I'm in time of need.
Yeah. A foxhole prayer?
What's a foxhole prayer?
Like in a time in need.
Yes.
Essentially, like when you need something to come through.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, honestly, which is like not, it's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing.
Okay.
You're absolutely right.
But I don't think about it because I'm not going to church. I'm not like really around people that talk about that stuff. I don't think about it unless I've like lost something. I'm like, St. Anthony, something's lost and can't be found.
Do you want to know something that has helped me like restructure my life with you talked about, having ADD, but knowledging yourself on it.
Yeah.
And basically structuring your life. Your house is always clean. I do 3 tasks, very small tasks. Well, actually 4. So I wake up, I make my bed immediately, drop down on my knees, pray every morning. I read a daily reflection, Jesus Calling, and then I journal for like 5-10 minutes.
That's great.
And like those 4 things are 4 accomplishments.
Yeah.
And with ADD, if you have 4 accomplishments under your belt 30 minutes after you woke up, like the day just goes.
Yeah.
I don't look at my phone yet. Eventually I do, but kind of keep that chaos away.
Yeah. I like that. At most of my adult life, I would have, if someone told me like, maybe you should try like saying a prayer when you wake up, I would be like, but now I don't know. At this point in my life, maybe I'm just getting older, and like more realistic. But I'm like, yeah, I can do that.
You're open-minded.
I am open-minded. I'm very open-minded.
Yeah. You've grown.
Yeah. You
should be proud of yourself.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you taking that long drive and coming on and, you know, some of the things you shared, you know, very vulnerable.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
And I hope it, you know, helps anyone at all.
You heard an interview and then that prompted you to want to come on, right?
Yeah.
Which one was it?
Is her name Ricky?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. She got off Adderall. Yeah.
And I've posted a few videos on my TikTok about it, and I do get messages from people that need help, that are like, how did you do it? And like, people are like, I'm going to lose my job, you know? And people are like, when I think about it, it's so intimidating. And I do think it helps to have some sort of platform where people can talk about it. And I appreciate you letting me do that.
Of course. Do you want to plug anything or? She's not single, by the way. So
she's not.
All you men do not. Yeah.
I don't know. My TikTok is Izzy Who with 4 Z's. And
Izzy
like,
Who?
Izzy Who. Yeah.
Cool.
There's some stuff on there.
Nice.
Not much, but.
Well, I appreciate you coming on and thank you again.
Thank you.